Alrighty, folks. One of the things I love to do on this channel is bring new faces with new experiences. We have the one and only Lexi from Hemlane. Yes, Dana is out doing some traveling, so we have the lovely Lexi. She is the growth manager at Hemlane, and for us, she is a Canadian real estate investor. Yes, folks, it does exist. There are real estate investors in Canada. How you doing, Lexi?
I'm good, Michael. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here and chat kind of from a Canadian's perspective on things.
There you go. There you go. Well, I know you. The audience doesn't yet, but that will happen today. Give a quick bio or resume or who is Lexi? How'd you get where you are today?
Yeah, so I am based out of the beautiful Rocky Mountains in Canada, and I work for Hemlane as the growth manager. So I deal with all the partnerships and affiliates on my end of things. Um, I have traveled my whole life, so I've constantly been on the move. I've lived out of a van. That's what I love about working in tech is I can work from the van on the road. And Yeah, so I love what I do. Have my investment properties in provinces beside me or two provinces over. So obviously, property management is super important to me and making sure that there's someone trusted, on site there for my tenants.
Very, very cool. Well, let's get the history of real estate investing, but I'm certainly going to ask about that van life. I've seen some videos of folks doing that, so I'm going to ask about that in a minute. But you own a couple of rental properties, it sounds like. Tell us about that first deal. Always loved hearing about the first one.
Yeah, so honestly, I came about it very organically. A couple of, friends of mine, they were like, hey, um, you know, we live at this university. I think that'd be a really good opportunity to buy a couple apartments for long-term students. And at first I was like, oh, student housing, like it's kind of iffy. But you know what? You do guarantee yourself tenants constantly because there's always going to be a need. So I gave it a shot. So I went in with two other people just on one unit, and it worked out well. Like we had tenants in there, they were trusted, it was good. We had a property manager on site. Unfortunately, Hemlane is not a thing in Canada right now. If it was, I would be all over it. But
Mm.
we were using a traditional property manager. And the second year, I was like, this is great. So I bought a second one, the unit beside. And I was like, may as well, property manager, I already have one
Mm.
there. And I went in on myself. So
Very, very cool.
yeah, it's been a few years now.
So let's talk.
And
Let's talk about that first one again, because again, obviously I don't own anything in Canada, so I don't even know price points. What did an apartment cost? Was it a studio, one bedroom, two bedroom? What was it that first one that you dipped your toe in the water?
it was a two bed, one bath. They're both two bed, one bath. And it is about 250 for the first one. And then the second one, it was a little bit higher. I think it was 280 or 275 around there.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. And then when you were doing student rentals, given they were two bedrooms, um did you just rent them to two different people? Did you do bunk beds and get four? How did you handle renting or to students?
yeah, it was interesting because obviously, you want to get as many people in there so you can get kind of like a split
Mhm.
payment. But we did just have two people in there, so two students in each or one student in each room.
Okay. Uh-huh.
It's the students that we have in there are in their like fifth or sixth year, so they're a
Okay.
little bit, yeah, it's a little bit more older, like mature, not ready to party or anything like that. So we did like, not have to
Okay.
worry about damage or
And then
whatnot.
and then what was rent for that bedroom and shared living space? Was it? I have no idea what rent would be on a unit.
We did 950 for each of them.
Okay. So
Uh,
you were 1900 combined on a 250 purchase. Now, was there other things like cleaning fees or deposits or any of those extras?
yeah, deposit, similar to kind of the guidelines that we suggest in the States is it's like 1 month's rent.
Mhm.
I did no pets. Obviously as students, it's not really like a hard thing to say no to. Um, and utilities were all included.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
as the owner were responsible for the utilities.
Yes, like
Okay.
we baked it into the price
Okay.
of their, yeah. And
That
so,
makes sense.
cleaning and stuff like that, that's also baked, they're expected to clean when they move out, but they all signed a 12-year term.
12-month term.
12 months, sorry, yes.
It's okay. I was gonna be, wow, 12-year term. They do it different in Canada. All
That
right.
sounds easy.
That sounds easy. So they did. So you were able to get students to sign up for a 1-year lease. You've obviously owned this for some time. Did anybody try to get out early, or did they stay the full term, or what was the kind of story there?
No, I've been really lucky, honestly. Like the tenants have just been dreams. Like
Okay.
I think that student housing, depending on kind of if you go for like the first 4 years of student housing, how far away you are from campus, like there is complete opposite experiences that you can have with buying student
Sure.
housing. But if you're kind of geared a little bit further away from campus,
Mm,
um, typically people who are in, their masters or whatnot, you're kind of guaranteeing them to be a little bit like they're slowed down, they're
mm,
there to do school, to work, whatever.
right.
So I haven't had any issues with them.
Very, very
Knock
cool.
on wood.
So
Knock
yeah,
on wood.
knock on wood. So I know the mortgages can be different in Canada. Don't know about investment loans. Did you have to come in with like 25% or 30% down? Do you remember?
It was 5% down for the first one. So 5%
Oh,
is like, yeah, it is the minimum. Obviously you are paying like a premium with your rates,
sure.
if you do the minimum. But on my second one, I ended up just putting 20% down because obviously then my payments were lower, and I didn't have to pay that premium for the interest rates. But interest rates are still very, very high over here. Hopefully they will drop soon. But I did lock into 5 years with 7%. So hopefully that doesn't kick me in the butt.
So I'm curious about that 5% down. So that was purchased as an investment, right? It was not purchased as an owner occupant. It was an investment loan. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Oh, wow. You can get a 5% loan in Canada. Shout out Canada. I had no idea.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean it is five. Sorry, let me clarify. 5% on my end, and then 5% from each other investor. So there's
oh,
three of
okay.
us.
So 15%.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I got it. That
Sorry, I
makes a
should have
heck of a
said that.
lot more sense. Okay. That makes more sense to me. I forgot there was three partners. You did say that, so that makes sense. Okay. And then yeah, you just talked about the terms. One of the things I think I've learned about the Canadian market is you do quote unquote have fixed rates, but they're only for a very short duration, often 2 to 5 years. Is that true?
That is true. Yeah, yeah. You can do the fixed rate, which I mean, I liked at the time, but now obviously coming into September next month, things may lower.
Mhm.
So I'm like kicking my butt, but I mean, I play it safe. So
Yeah.
locking into that investment rate is kind of like what I prefer to do. Um, and that's kind of why we did it.
Yeah, and then when you were doing that first purchase, again, that was kind of good timing 3 years ago. I'm going to guess mortgage rates in Canada were like 1 or 2%. They were crazy low, right?
Yeah, during the pandemic, they were insanely low, and that's kind of like why we went into it. So um, we'll never see it that low again.
No, I,
But
I I hope we
I
don't. We shut down the world to get that low. I hope that doesn't happen again.
I
My
feel so bad. I
goodness.
feel so bad for, some friends and people of my generation trying to buy a house now, and it's just like 7, 8%, and they're like, it's impossible. Like you're literally just paying into the interest rather than into your principal of your mortgage, and
Mhm.
you can't do it. So I try not to talk too much about how much I paid in.
Yeah, we don't go there. We don't go there. I am
Yeah.
curious. You've owned that first unit for a couple of years now. Is rent still 950, or has there been some inflation?
No, we bumped it up to, honestly think it's 1150 or 1250
Okay,
yeah, so per
per room.
per room. So a little bit of inflation, but also that's, us wanting to make a little bit
Yeah,
extra.
that's okay. Profit's okay. Profit's okay. That's all right. Um, so now that you have three, you're a part of 3 units at this point. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Very
one shared unit, and then I have two of my own.
okay. And then so it sounds like two of them are in the same building, literally next door to each other. Where's the third one?
They're all in the same building.
Oh, they're all in the same building. Ah,
Yeah.
You're just locking down that. How many units in the building?
There's 12.
Oh, so you've
Yeah.
almost, yeah, you've got 30% roughly,
I don't,
25%.
it's like a hidden gem. Honestly, like if and my family is from this province as well. So like it is kind of like my home, where I'm familiar with like the area and whatnot. And I suggested we go in on this neighborhood that's like relatively close to the university, because they wanted to be on campus at first. And I was like, no, we should go a little bit further
A little
away.
bit further. Get somebody with cars and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, very cool. So wow, 12 units, you've got three of them. What are some words of advice for folks that are, just getting started? We know it's hard today. Does Canada do seller financing? I mean, like what is it just like the States where if you have a seller that owns it, they can carry the note? Is that a thing in Canada?
I'm not sure. I've never heard of that. Seller
Okay, yeah.
financing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seller. Good. Look it up because that's one of the things that we're seeing in the States, or at least I'm calling, is I think the real estate market is slowing down. We saw transactions fall apart. I'm curious what is going on in Canada. I mean, your rates are high as well. Uh, it's really funny when I look at not funny. Yeah, it's funny. When I look at the United States affordability, it's bad, but Canada makes us look good. I mean, affordability in Canada is stupid, dumb, crazy.
Yeah, sometimes I do wish that I could buy property down in the States or whatnot, but maybe one day I'll venture down there. But right now we're sticking up here. I think that advice, um it would just not to be discouraged. Like, it does seem impossible, and I'm a big believer in whatever you're talking about is what's going to come true. So if you're constantly saying it's not going to happen, it's super high, it's impossible, then that's your reality. So
Yeah.
just, stay positive, stay kind of focused, work hard, grind hard, you'll get what you want, and it'll
Yeah.
grow from there, little by
There you
little.
go. Little by little. So is Lexi currently saving up for property number four? Is that kind of on the horizon?
I don't know. I kind of want to. I mean, it's for me, it's a safe bet right now because it's like I know how to do it. I have a property manager on site. Like, it's good. It's really good.
Mhm.
But I kind of want to venture into something else, whether that be another province or something closer to me where I can like personally property manage it, um, or what other investments that I can kind of look into. We'll see.
Very, very. Yeah, there you go. You're just growing. You're learning. So that's really, really cool. Um, how is it being kind of I guess I'll call it out of province. I was going to say out of state, but that's not fair. So out of province investor, because again, these assets are away from you. How is it? How much time do you spend? Do you have weekly conversation with property manager? How do you handle that kind of out of area investing?
It's probably by like monthly, like they'll send me the monthly report of everything that's going on. If anything needs to be done in terms of maintenance or last week there was a repair that needed to be done, and they're very in communication with me, and the tenants also do have my number in case of emergency that the property manager is there. So isn't typically something that I love to take the phone calls for, but I mean, it's always important to make sure that your tenants feel
Yeah.
comfortable and taken care of.
Yeah. When you get those phone calls, it's never good news. It's always
No,
bad.
I'm
They
like,
don't call to tell you, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
why isn't the property manager answering your call? Like,
I need to fix this. I need to fix this. Well, this is a
yeah.
lot of fun. I guess we'll close talking a little bit about Hemlane. Uh, Obviously, you're a big part of Hemlane. Dana loves working with you and seeing what you're doing. If somebody had student housing, could Hemlane help them?
Yes, if it was long term, anything over than like let's say 3 months at the minimum, then absolutely, we would be able to support them and their tenants.
Yeah, that's what I see with him late is you're not going to do the nightlies or dailies like Airbnb stuff. That's not where you're playing. But if you do get that year-long lease, right, you're renting out by the room. It's Him Lane is the place to be. It helps with advertising, communication, audit trail, all those things. Somebody wanted to go get the trial or get even the free version. Lexi, where do we send them?
You can send them to hemlane.com. Make sure you do mention one rental at a time. You do get our premium discount code on the product.
Wow,
Right now we
nice.
are offering a free package, so you can try it out, see what you like, and we can go from there.
There you go. Lexi, thank you very much for stepping in for Dana. Dana, we'll see you next week. Later.
Thanks, Michael.